What if I told you that every major economic collapse in history followed the exact same six-stage sequence? Not similar patterns, not vague parallels. The exact same mathematical progression. Rome in 476, France in 1789, Weimar Germany in 1923, the United States in 1929. 5 civilizations separated by centuries, yet they all collapsed following an identical script. Here is what should terrify you. We are currently in stage 3. This isn't a theory or a prediction. This is a documented pattern that has played out 5 times in modern history. The window between stage 3 and the final reset has historically been 24 to 36 months, not decades, months. The math doesn't care about politics or intentions. The sequence always begins the same way in what economists call stage 1, easy credit. This is when a civilization creates money faster than it creates actual goods. Stage 1 always feels like prosperity. It feels like progress. Asset prices surge, and the economy seems to enter a new era where old rules no longer apply. Between 2010 and 2021, total US debt grew by 89%, while GDP grew by just 42%. We were creating money at twice the rate we were creating economic value. Then comes stage 2, debt saturation. This is when the amount of debt reaches a critical threshold where adding more no longer stimulates growth. Studies find that when debt exceeds 90% of GDP, it starts subtracting from growth. We crossed that line in 2010. Our current ratio sits at 123%. This leads to stage 3, production stagnation. When everyone is drowning in debt, they stop spending on new things and start spending on interest payments. The economy doesn't collapse yet. It just stops growing. We are running twice as hard and moving half as fast. But here is the problem: the interest trap. Imagine your debt reaching a point where half your income goes just to interest. You can't save, you can't invest, you can't build wealth. You're trapped. In 2024, the United States paid $892 billion in net interest. Our entire economic growth that same year was approximately the same. We are at the point of no return. This is the smoking gun. When interest payments match or exceed GDP growth, the machine breaks. You can't tax or grow your way out. Stage 3 is the moment policymakers realize conventional tools no longer work. They start reaching for unconventional, desperate solutions. Of 70 major sovereign debt crises since 1800, 0 were resolved without inflation, debt restructuring, or military conflict, not one. If you knew with absolute certainty that a reset would happen within 36 months, how would you position yourself? The uncomfortable truth is, the cycle has already begun. Stage 4 is currency debasement, the printing phase where governments try to inflate away the debt. Stage 5 is the collapse of social trust. Stage 6 is the reset itself, the moment when the old system breaks and a new one emerges. Every civilization that reached stage 3 proceeded to stage 6. The parallels between our era and 1929 are eerie. In both eras, the public believed we had reached a permanently high plateau. We were wrong then, and we are wrong now. That intoxicating sense that everyone is getting rich is not a sign of prosperity. It's a symptom of stage 1 entering stage 2. It's an illusion of wealth. Weimar Germany tried printing their way out of stage 3. It felt like a solution at first. Then the math took over. Life savings became worthless in months. In 2020, we created more money in 2 years than in the previous 2 centuries combined. 6.2 trillion in new currency created from nothing. When you increase the money supply by 40% while output decreases, prices must rise. That's not economics, that's arithmetic. The inflation is a monetary problem. We think we're different because we have the world's reserve currency. But Rome thought the same. Being the reserve currency just allows you to dig a deeper hole. By 2034, interest will consume 40% of all tax revenue. We'll be borrowing just to pay interest. This is a mathematical loop with no exit. There are only 3 doors left: hyperinflation, debt jubilee, or war. These aren't policy choices. They are the only mathematical possibilities. What survives? In every previous reset, it wasn't paper. It was gold, land, and tangible resources, assets that exist independent of a broken currency. During the 1929 reset and the 70s crisis, the survivors were those who moved into hard assets and energy before the crowd figured it out. Most Americans have their wealth in exactly the wrong places. Dollar-denominated assets. The window to reposition is narrowing as we speak. The surge in gold and Bitcoin aren't random. They are the canaries in the coal mine, signaling that the sophisticated money is already moving. We are no longer in the what-if phase. We've crossed the mathematical threshold. Stage 4 is next. The pattern doesn't wait for anyone to be ready. The window between stage 3 and stage 6 is measured in months. Once the dominoes start falling, repositioning becomes much harder. You have the advantage of seeing the sequence before it completes. You know what's coming. The only question is, what are you going to do now?